dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYNT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Justin Case. We want to begin tonight with a shooting in Whitley County. We have a reporter on scene in the Woodbine area. We know the coroner was called to the scene earlier this evening. It is still a very active scene. Our reporter says an ambulance just left, but there are several law enforcement agencies still on scene, including Kentucky State Police, Corbin and Williamsburg Police, as well as the Whitley County Sheriff's Department. We are working on getting you details as soon as police release them. Authorities in Laurel County are trying to figure out what led up to an accidental shooting of a 14-year-old boy. We are told another teen accidentally shot the boy in the stomach and chest with a shotgun. The teenage victim was airlifted to UK Hospital in Lexington in what authorities say is critical condition. We will update this story as we learn more over on WYMT.com. A Leslie County woman is recovering from a gunshot wound and police are still searching for the man responsible. Sunday morning around 3, officials from Kentucky State Police say a man and woman woke up to a man standing in their bedroom. That intruder then shot the woman at close range with what police believe may have been a shotgun. I talked with troopers and people living in that community as the suspect is still on the run. Troopers say the shooting happened early Sunday morning at a home off of Mosley Bend Road in the Confluence community.
He fired shots at them. A female there in the residence was struck, was pretty seriously injured.
Police have not been given a description of the man. The victims only saw that it was a man and that he drove away on an ATV.
Initially, you have a felony burglary offense, and then you have either assault first or possibly attempted murder.
With not much to go on and a suspect that should be considered dangerous, police are urging people to pay attention when things seem out of place.
A lot of times we hear noises, dogs barking, we just blow it off, but you never know when it could be someone, around.
And talking with the former sheriff who also lives in this community, he says drugs are behind most of the crimes they see around here. Otherwise, Confluence is a peaceful community.
People, they just don't care no more. Once they get on that meth, they don't care about anything.
Although he is now retired, his decades of service render this piece of advice.
I just keep all your stuff locked up and make sure you lock your doors overnight. And don't let nobody in that you don't know.
Police ask that you call them immediately if you have any information about the suspect or where he might be. We also talked with the current Leslie County Sheriff. He says his deputies are increasing their patrols of the Confluence area and surrounding communities while the suspect is still on the run. A Letcher County man is dead following an officer-involved shooting. Christopher Brown was wanted on a number of warrants as well as suspected of being in possession of a stolen car. When troopers found him near the Daniel Boone Motor Inn, troopers say he took off when KSB troopers tried to make a stop. They chased him all the way to Vicco when he tried to run over a trooper, resulting in shots fired.
All we knew was it was up on Big Branch, strip job, and we didn't know anything else. And all we heard was they were gunshots in George's Branch, and they were chasing someone.
Community members say it was quite the ruckus. The trooper that was hit is doing fine. A man is dead in Leslie County after he was found in a creek next to his home earlier today. We are told by his friends that he was an older man who would go out and feed his animals every morning. Now we have learned the name from his friends, but we're still waiting to release that until we know that family has been notified. Those who were close to him say he was one of the kindest men you would ever meet.
He was funny. He would laugh and just a good-hearted guy. I mean, just a really good-hearted guy.
He had good nature,
Details are still limited at this time about how exactly he drowned. Once we learn more, we will update that on our website.
Well, it was another beautiful day here in the mountains. Definitely hot out there, but overall it's been a pretty clear evening. You'll notice as we take a look over into Whitesburg, you're looking into downtown Whitesburg, really just looking at those dry conditions, and we've really only dealt with a few clouds here and there today. You'll notice satellite and radar. We have been dry throughout the day. You're seeing a little bit of backscatter from the radar. Saw a few showers out to our west in Louisville, maybe a few over into Lexington, but we have stayed dry throughout the day. Now those temperatures, they're still pretty warm outside. You'll notice those low to mid 70s, maybe even some spots to the upper 70s, a 78 in Prestonsburg, 76 in Jackson, and a 72 down into London. Overall, those temperatures remain warm as we head throughout the overnight hours, really only dropping into the upper 60s to lower 70s, with those mostly sunny skies returning as we head into your Thursday. So really over the next few days, we will still continue that heat wave. Few storms possible as we head into tomorrow, Friday, and into your Saturday. Saturday is looking pretty steamy as well. I'll have a look at that full forecast coming up in just a few short minutes.
Paige, thank you. The state of the Southeastern Kentucky Medical Center was discussed in bankruptcy court at the United States Courthouse in London this morning. In the meeting, both parties discussed the terms of an asset transfer. Mayor Scott Maiden says while it was a positive first step, there are still a lot of things that need to happen.
I think a lot of things were discussed today, and I think that it's something that we can move forward with.
It's been quite a busy and hectic day, but I can tell you that we are feeling more positive this afternoon than we have been in a few days here.
Maiden says the judge gave both parties 24 hours to pick administrators, which they would then discuss and try to agree upon. Workers at Perry County's Buckhorn Lake State Resort Park are taking a few steps toward being what they consider Memorial Day ready. 2019's spring flooding left Buckhorn Lake at more than 800 feet above sea level. Maintenance crews stayed the course until the park looked once again like a resort. Now they are happily inviting guests to stay and enjoy more than just the results of flood cleanup. Visitors eating at the Bowlingtown Country Kitchen have a few more drink options for the scorching hot holiday. Alcohol is now being served to customers dining in.
Safety is always important now on the lake and boating, swimming, but also safety is important anytime consuming alcohol.
Governor Matt Bevin visited the park back in October of last year. Workers say he awarded the park with a grant allowing crews to start construction on a new roof after this holiday weekend. As so many in Kentucky know, the road to recovery from drug addiction is long and filled with setbacks. No one sees that more than drug court judges, but one Central Kentucky judge is trying to make that transition as smooth as possible. Miranda Combs shows us the extra push they are getting in recovery.
A lot of conversation happens in the kitchen, mostly chatter, but sometimes the conversations are life-changing, like sitting at the table at rock bottom, telling your parents you need treatment for drug abuse.
I honestly don't know what it's like to be an addict, but I do know what it's like to be the parent of somebody suffering.
Kay Dennison lives in Bourbon County, no different than any small community plagued with addiction. She taught home ec in the county for 30 years. Now she's teaching some of those same students back in a familiar-looking classroom.
I think they see that I care. Number one. Number two is what I taught. Okay, I'm going to teach life skills, and that they know that.
The students are toward the end of their time in drug court. Circuit Court Judge Brian Privet runs drug court in Bourbon County. He realized early on the need for a slow and steady transition back into society. That's where the University of Kentucky Bourbon County Extension Office comes in.
So I was like, yeah, let's do it. And that was it.
Extension office is a great fit because we're already teaching all these things. We're teaching financial stability, we're teaching parenting, nurturing families, all the promoting healthy families and communities. That's what we do all the time for everybody.
They've started a pilot program called Beyond, with a bumblebee as their logo, because bumblebees shouldn't be able to fly.
The size of the body is too heavy for the wings. The wing structure is just not designed like for that insect to be able to fly. Sometimes we get locked into thinking things about ourselves that we can't do when we really can.
And that's where the kitchen table reappears, not as a place to surrender, but a place to learn how to live and thrive again. In Paris, Miranda Combs, WYMT Mountain News.
UK's Extension Service is a link between the counties of the Commonwealth and the University of Kentucky to help people improve their quality of life and build better communities. Coming up at 11, President Trump storms out of a meeting with top Democrats over comments made by Speaker Pelosi. We'll take you to Washington with the war of words.
And temperatures continue to increase, but what about those rain chances? I'll have a look at that full forecast in just a few short minutes.